The Atlanta Braves pick up 12 hits, but can't bring those guys in a 2-1 loss to Philadelphia. Let's talk about it.
This is the Braves Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Atlanta Braves. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yes, welcome on into the Braves Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Atlanta, where we cover your Atlanta sports teams each and every day. I'm your host, Lindsay Crosby, author of the Braves Today newsletter over at bravestoday.com. You can follow me on social media at Crosby Baseball. That fella there's Jake Mastroianni, nice and well-rested, tanned, looking great after his vacation. Follow him on social media at Shortstop Ball. Make sure you're subscribed to Locked On Braves, wherever you get your podcasts. He got back in the country less than 24 hours ago and already dropped a pod today, taking your mailbag questions. And Jake, the question that I have is, what did we do to get the old Atlanta Braves offense back? Atlanta loses 2-1. They pick up 12 hits, including 3 doubles, and they can only score 1 run. What did we do to the baseball gods to have this offense come back at this point in the season?
Yeah, here's the thing, Lindsay. I still think the Mets are more of our bitter rival than the Phillies. And after the Phillies got embarrassed by the Mets, I think the Braves felt like they needed some help to make sure they don't blow the NL East. So they said, we're going to give you 19 runs one night, and we're gonna let you win a low-scoring game the next night. I don't know. But
Atlanta even tried to give Schwarber the 5th home run. They threw a position player out there.
We're just going to keep throwing to the MVP. We're just going to keep throwing them meatballs down the middle. Quite frustrating. I mean, to see both of these first 2 games, like you said, the first game, you score 3 runs in the first inning. You feel like maybe you got something going here. Then you eventually get blown out. And then the next night, you get a good game pitching wise, and your offense can't get it together. And it's like you said, it's more of what we've seen a lot earlier in the year from this Braves offense, where they're getting guys on base. It's just can't get them in. And it's just completely frustrating. Fortunately, haven't seen this offense a lot in the second half, but this is the one that we really, unfortunately, grown accustomed to over the last year and a half, the one that just can't get that big hit with runners on base.
Yeah, and it felt like all of the little things that could go wrong for Atlanta went wrong, and the things that could go right for Philly went right. I'm thinking about Ranger Suarez knocking a ball into the shortstop's glove for a double play, but like Atlanta overthrows Matt Olson and it bounces somehow into the dugout for an extra base. Just all the little things not going Atlanta's way and going Philly's way. But yeah, the big takeaway is you're getting guys on and you can't bring them in. And I want to talk specifically about the Matt Olson play. So he's on third base. I think it's Marcell Ozuna hits the line drive to right. Nick Castellanos makes the catch, makes the throw home, and perfect throw just in time to get the out. I understand Castellanos doesn't have a great arm. Matt Olson doesn't have great speed. He's no Marcell Ozuna out there. And he's playing with a hurt toe. Is that something where, yes, you go ahead and send him and make them make a perfect play? Or do you hold him thinking we've gotten plenty of hits? If we can get one more, we can get that running.
Yeah, because it's Castellanos, I think you take the chance. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, Castellanos is one of the worst defenders in the game, at least, notoriously so. But when he plays the Braves, I remember the postseason a couple of years ago.
The diving catch
out there. And then, now he makes a great throw to home. Look, Matt Olson, we talked about not getting those big hits. Unfortunately, they got some and got a potential sac fly, but it always seemed to be Matt Olson who was on base for these. Another time tonight, he's, on base and they get a hit, but he's not able to score. And unfortunately, he's one of the slowest people in the world already, 8 percentile sprint speed on Savant. And as you mentioned, he's playing with a hurt toe. So just a bit unfortunate tonight that he was the one on base in a lot of these run scoring situations and just isn't a very fast runner. You're obviously not going to pinch run for Matt Olson. He's your first baseman, but just kind of unfortunate that he was the one in those spots whenever you did get those opportunities to score like that. But with it being Castellanos and I mean, you can't always count on this team to get another hit. I know they got a lot tonight anyway, but I think you had to at least take that chance that Castellanos was going to make the perfect throw. And again, against the Braves, he just does those things defensively that he doesn't do against other teams.
Yeah, he keeps getting it done. I think, like, for me, they had hit the midpoint of the game at that point. It was the fifth inning. And so I understand feeling the frustration about not being able to get the runs across. But at the same point, it's a tie game. It's not like you're down by 1 in the 8th and you've got to tie it up. It's a tie game and you've got a couple more innings. I think if it's a healthy Matt Olson, I'm probably making the send, even though it's Matt Olson and he's already slow. And when I went back and watched the broadcast, you can see right as he gets off the bag, he's got a little tiny like short step or a hitch or something, and that's what did him in. Ultimately frustrated. And I know we're kind of looking at, the micro of this one thing, but Atlanta, grounds into multiple double plays in this one. And again, 2 for 12 with runners in scoring position, leaving 10 on base. 12 hits in 1 run kind of feels like it should be against the law.
It's impossible. I don't know how you do it. Outside of, 3 double plays, but even with 3 double plays, 12 hits, a couple walks in there. And
but I was about to say 12 hits and 2 walks. Yeah. You only struck out 3. What is it? You only struck out 6 times all game, and 2 of those were in the 9th. But
so, I mean, this is a very rare box score to see those numbers and not have more than 1 run on the board. It's something only the 2025 Braves can do, apparently.
There you go. And Emmanuel in our chat here asked the question I was about to ask. Maybe it was irrelevant, but why sub in Vidal Brujan? And that was, I think, for the 7th inning when Nick Allen had 2 hits already against the lefty, and there was another lefty on the mound. I know that Brian Snitker just has things he's going to do, right? He's going to pinch hit for Nick Allen 6th, 7th, 8th, whenever he comes up. He's going to put a righty and Sean Murphy in there against a lefty. But that kind of feels like Nick Allen had 2 hits. Maybe let him do it one more time, especially when Vidal Brujan just got, I think it was 2 consecutive starts and went 0 for a million in there. It's not like Brujan's hot right now.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm never going to be too upset about pinch hitting for Nick Allen, but you're right. It's not like you were pinch hitting him for the best hitter in the world off the bench. Yeah. It was Brujan, and maybe Snitker just figured Nick Allen's gotten his 2 hits for the week, and that was all he had. So he's already used those up. I don't know. It's interesting too. You pinch hit for Sean Murphy in this game as well, and Sean Murphy had a double in this game. He scored a run as well. I mean, you do it for Drake Baldwin. I'm not arguing that decision. Obviously, going with Drake Baldwin, but a couple of interesting kind of pinch hitting scenarios there.
Yeah, just kind of interesting how Atlanta kind of managed that game. All right. In just a minute, let's talk about the pitching, because kind of inverted of what we expected to happen. We thought Bryce Elder would be bad and the bullpen would be good. Elder looked really good and the bullpen kind of struggled a bit. We'll talk about that next, right here on the Braves Postcast. Hey, Braves fans, are you still paying full price for gas? Stop leaving money behind. Get real cash back every time you fill up with the free Upside app. Simply download the free Upside app in the App Store or Google Play right now and start earning cash at the pump today. Use our limited time promo code SEASON and get an extra 25 cents back per gallon on your first fill up. You can make up to $300 a year just from buying the gas you already needed. And at first I thought it was too good to be true. It is totally legit. Real people are getting paid just to make their daily commutes, and you can too. Plus, you can cash out anytime to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon, Starbucks, other brands like that. So don't let this offer drive on by. Download the free Upside app now using our limited time promo code SEASON for a limited time 25 cent per gallon bonus. That's promo code SEASON. Now, offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions. Today's episode is also brought to you by our friends at Monarch Money. Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. And that's why there is Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or your phone, because Monarch's built for people with busy lives. If you've put off organizing your finances, Monarch is for you because it does the heavy lifting for you. You can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. So don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONMLB. All right, Jake. As Sam in our chat said, Elder being good and the bullpen being bad when you expected the opposite is typical 2025 Atlanta Braves. But Bryce Elder, 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 2 walks to 3 strikeouts. And he outdueled Ranger Suarez, which is not a thing I thought I would say. In almost every respect, he was leading the pitch velocity leaderboard when the 2 starters were in the game. I believe he had 10 whiffs in this one. I think Ranger it barely beat him out with like 12, but just less hard hit balls. Just did everything. It felt like better than Ranger, went deeper, all of that. And Atlanta couldn't get him the win. How comforting is it to see that when Bryce Elder's on, he can take a potent lineup, one that obliterated Atlanta yesterday, and can absolutely not shut them down, but keep them in check and leave them in a place to pick up a win if the offense can do their job.
Yeah, I mean, it's frustrating because if Elder could just remove those blow-up starts, or he could just, not have those outings where he just gets absolutely pounded.
Can you have one a month and not one every 3 starts?
Yeah, it's just he goes through these stretches where, I mean, he had one earlier in the year, like we talked about before. He got sent down when Strider returned. He looked really good and looked like that, mid to back to rotation arm that, he can possibly be. But then he just has stretches like he had been where it's just he's unusable. You can't start him, and you can't trust him to give you 5 good innings. So, it just goes to show and why I think he's still going to hang around for the Braves next year, and why he's still going to get plenty of starts for the Braves next year is because when that sinker and slider are on and he's able to locate it, we've seen him be able to shut down the best lineups in baseball. So it's just frustrating because there's just not this level of consistency there for Bryce Elder. The margin for error is so thin. The both of those pitches have to be on. They have to be down. He has to get the edges. He has to get the chases. And when he gets all that, like he did tonight, also just, I do have some Phillies fans that I follow on social media, and they apparently have the same struggle as the Braves. Whenever they score a bunch of runs one night, they can't score the next night. And so maybe there was just some of that too, that they didn't have any rollover runs. But again, it's something that we've seen Elder do in the past, and it was mostly just sinker slider tonight that he was able to control it with. I'm not going to try to make much of this, but Sean Murphy behind the plate. I still think Murphy's the better guy behind the dish, calling a game and handling, the defensive aspect of it. So I'm sure that helped a little bit. Not that Drake Baldwin's bad by any means. I just think Sean Murphy's that good at it. But yeah, it's frustrating because, you get a great performance like that from Bryce Elder and you waste it because the offense can't do anything with it. And it's just kind of frustrating.
Yeah. Nights like tonight are why I point people to Bryce Elder is going to be part of this team. They're not going to DFA Bryce Elder. Things like tonight show you why they're going to keep him around. And what people don't realize, he's leading the 2025 Atlanta Braves in innings pitched. Bryce Elder is the guy. Yeah, there's only 3 pitchers who are over 100. It's like Grant Holmes at 115. He's not coming back. Schoenbach at 110. He's not coming back. Bryce Elder's at 124 and 2/3. And I think it was 23. There's another season recently. I think it was 23. He was second on the team in innings. He can give you innings. And when he's on, they're not bad innings. It's just he's not on enough. And I think that's what keeps him from having a full-time job in the majors. Joke in the chat here. Somebody said Elder doesn't throw hard enough to get hurt. The man's, knock on wood, the man's never got on the injured list that I can remember. So, maybe there is something with that. And it kind of feels like if they could figure out how to unlock him, maybe that would just be another starter for next year we'd love to have. But outside of that, the bullpen just really kind of struggles today. Dylan Lee gets 1 out, 2 hits, 1 run allowed. Pierce Johnson goes 2/3 of an inning, a hit and a walk, gives up the sac fly. It's just, I guess what I'm frustrated about is at this point in the season, there's not a lot left to play for, obviously. Like, you're not making the postseason and all of that. But I really want to I just want everything to work at the same time. And I feel like that's too much to ask. But I'm going to abandon that real quick. I've seen this in the chat a couple times now. Do you agree with the decision to pull Bryce Elder after 7 innings for Dylan Lee? Because a lot of people just do not like him, but there's a lot of conversation in the chat and things like that. You should have left him in for the 8th. You had Trey Turner, Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper. I'm of the opinion you probably don't want him to face them again. But I can see both arguments, and I'm kind of curious to know what you think. Do you pull Elder at 7 and go to your pen, or do you let him go back out there for the 8th at the top of the order?
Yeah, I mean, Elder goes back out there. He gives up a single and a bomb, and that could completely happen. We've seen that with Elder before, going through the lineup even a second time, but especially a third and fourth time, and that guys can get to him. So the couple of lefties coming up, and I know both those lefties got hits off Dylan Lee, and hindsight being what it is, but I thought it was the right call to go to Dylan Lee. I mean, he's been really good against lefties throughout his entire career. Wasn't his night, and it's been a rough kind of second half. I know he, really settled down after, tough July, but still it's been a rough second half for Dylan Lee and just wasn't able to get the lefties out the night. But I thought it was the right call with where Elder was and where the lineup was.
Yeah, for me, that's one of those things. I think I'm with you. Like, let's not push this, right? You got 7 out of them. You 1 run against Philly. Let's go ahead. Let's go to the best arms in your bullpen and Dylan Lee and Pierce Johnson, guys you trust, and it just didn't work out. All right. So tomorrow, 6:05, a little bit earlier, also back on a standard broadcast, so most people can watch it. Christopher Sanchez, the lefty, goes for Philly, so I expect they'll probably put Sean Murphy in the game again. But pitching for Atlanta, Chris Sale is expected to be activated. It's officially a TBD, but it's expected to be Chris Sale activated for this start. We will be back with the postcast after that. In the meantime, do us a favor, listening on audio, leave a 5-star review, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to both Locked On Braves and Locked On Sports Atlanta. Hit the notification bell so you know when we go live. Please enjoy your college football tomorrow. And until next time, this has been the Braves Postcast.